Hello friends, I'm Samantha of Coffee Talks with Samantha, and sometimes I do other things, and this is one of them. We are staying at the Lizzie Borden house. By we, I mean me and my girlfriend Jamie, if you are new to the channel. We're into some spooky shit sometimes, and apparently staying at an axe murderer's house is one of them. Or she was acquitted.
She was acquitted.
I can't say that, but like... We're actually in Lizzie's room herself. There was no murders in this room, but her face is everywhere.
That's true.
We would be sleeping in Emma's room though, because it's infinitely less creepy.
Emma is her sister.
You know what? I didn't even realize that they were as old as they were.
Me either.
Like on the tour, to give a little bit of history. The Borden family was very well off, but the parents were not nice people. Where Lizzie's birth mother passed away. What did she pass away of? Was it pneumonia?
I don't remember. Excellent tour guide. Excellent tour. I think we're just tired right now.
It is very early in the AM hours. That's also why we are whispering, because there is another couple that are staying here in the next room that way, where Abby was murdered, the stepmother, but we'll get to that. So Lizzie's birth mother passed away, and her father remarried to this woman Abby, who apparently was a big jerk. They were consistently disrespectful towards her for that reason. To give some examples, like Andrew Borden, Lizzie's father, didn't have any running hot water, so they had to sponge bath no matter the temperature. So imagine like January, taking a cold bucket of water and just sponge bathing yourself.
And Tori had also told us that everybody else on the street had electricity, but the Bordens did not, and he made them use gas lamps.
Yeah, oil lamps.
Oil lamps, and they had to pay for the oil out of their allowance, Lizzie and her sister.
Even though the fortune that he had at that time would equal to like this day and age be millions, but imagine having to like pay for oil to be able to see in your house. So, as you might be able to tell,
He was a dick.
yes, and so was Abby. They turned up dead one day. Lizzie was taken to trial and was acquitted, and what it seems like is that either there was some money involved or it was just the name, because Borden was a big name in this area. All signs point to Lizzie. The maid was out washing the windows even though she was sick, like vomiting and washing the windows at the same time. The uncle that was staying here was conveniently like getting stamps, getting coffee, had receipts for everything, but like his seemed a little too good, his alibi, so it almost seems like he was in on it. But there's no proof. It just seems like he was in on it.
Emma was out of town conveniently, somewhere like hours away by trolley or horse.
Yeah, like it would be a half-hour drive, but because of the time, like it took hours to get there conveniently.
We know that Andrew didn't do it.
Because he's dead.
And we know that Abby didn't do it.
Because she also is dead.
And that leaves Lizzie.
And neither of them had defense wounds, so it wasn't like they tried to like block any shots. It was just, it had to have been like a familiar face that like hit them unexpectedly with it. And again, all signs point to Lizzie. And she was jailed for 9 months, but this was before the trial. And then she was taken to trial. The maid who testified ended up moving to the middle of nowhere,
Montana.
with a horse ranch. A maid who used to live in the attic with no regulation of like air, heat, anything. We think that she was paid off
She got money somehow.
to like be quiet about it.
Maybe.
I think so. Here we are in her bedroom.
Spooky Town, USA.
Spooky Town, USA.
I wish that you could see behind the camera, because you can only see the bed frame, but there's like a portrait of Lizzie there and like a nice painting of peonies, and then some other period pieces, another portrait of Lizzie, portrait of an old dead guy, and a curiosity cabinet over here filled with things.
With things, yes.
It's very neat. It was like the floral wallpaper.
I can do like a panning shot after.
Oh.
I can do like a panning shot after.
Oh.
I can do like a panning shot after.
Oh.
But something that I did learn on this tour is that Lizzie ended up being a great human, which is always good after you commit a couple murders.
Potentially.
Potentially, but...
Potentially. Acquitted.
She helped a lot of kids with their college funding, not just the people that she hired at her next mansion that she named Maplecroft.
She dumped tens of thousands of dollars into the local animal shelter.
Mm-hmm. She did a lot of great things after she just murdered her parents.
Supposedly. She had parties at her mansion and invited poor people.
The poor and the middle class, which is like...
pissed off all of her rich neighbors.
Yeah, which like, what a badass.
Yeah, total badass.
Except for the whole murdering your parents part.
Supposedly. Look at that face.
So we thought, what better to do over here is pretend to be ghost hunters. And we have the technology on our phones, and that's it. Because we know nothing, and this is a total sham against anyone that actually ghost hunts.
Great thing about the house, though, in the living room where Andrew was found murdered on the couch, they left like all sorts of ghost hunting supplies and like Ouija boards and stuff. There's like a little crate filled with like ghost hunting stuff that you can use for free. So if you ever have extra money, please stay here. And our tour guide was so cool. What was his name? I don't know his name.
I don't know his name.
And I don't know her name.
I don't know her name.
The guy has a big beard and she has big, beautiful eyes.
She looks just like Mamrie Hart.
Who?
It's a YouTuber that I watch. I have all of her books.
Very similar.
Twins. It's just the pipes. It's an old house.
Upstairs there are 3 bedrooms, each one creepier than the next. And 1 little bathroom, but there's definitely creepy vibes that I think we would feel like even if we didn't know what happened here.
Yeah, because we went up there and I didn't think anything even happened up there. I knew that the maid lived up there. Oh, and they called the maid by the maid prior's name.
They called her Maggie
instead of Bridget.
That was the terrible maid that was first, right? Like, wasn't the previous maid?
Oh, yeah, the previous maid, yeah.
Not a good maid.
So it was like their way of disrespecting her was calling her Maggie instead of her actual name.
Bridget Sullivan.
But I thought it was just her room on the 3rd floor. I didn't know that there was even a guest room up there. And then they turned like the second half into more bedrooms. And the 3rd bedroom was horrendously creepy. She mentioned like going up there to do this, and I was like, couldn't catch me dead.
I didn't get a creepy vibe.
I did, instantly.
There was a weird, like, when we walked in, there was like a weird box of toys sitting in the corner, and I was like, what? Why?
Apparently, the story is that there's 2 kids that haunt that room, or whatever, that has nothing to do with the Bordens. It was like,
tried to drown a 3rd, but it survived, and then she like slit her throat and died. But somehow they ended up haunting this house. I don't know.
Yeah.
And people go in there and they feel creeped out, I guess, by like 2 kids.
I was creeped out though.
She was creeped out before we heard the story, though. So she just felt it. I don't know. I felt like upstairs was creepy. But I guess that I felt that that room was creepy because I looked down the hallway in that room first. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Creepy down you.
The one room that I felt was creepy was the one where Abby was found murdered. But that was, I told the tour guide, I think it's the big, dark, imposing furniture. Also the murder, but mostly the big, dark furniture.
That's what scares me the most.
The furniture.
Yeah.
Too dark.
Oh, there's something else I was gonna say.
You gonna say you're certified cutie?
I got a couple apps on my phone. We'll see how well this works. Oh, this one beeps and stuff. I don't like that. Can you like talk to it? What's this do? Oh, that stops the beeping. No.
The app is called
It gave me Wars.
Ghost Detector.
Oh, stop giving me so many ads.
Delete it.
Okay, I'm giving up on this one. I also have Ghost Radar Legacy. So this is going to tell me if there's ghosts. Just kidding. It's going to show me pastries.
It's a beautiful pastry. Freaking tap to place the equipment.
I can't.
Okay, it's screening. Nope, no ghost here. What if, you know how we were watching Haunting of Hill House?
Mm-hmm.
You know how Nell, like, popped up between Theo and
Shirley like that? Don't say that. So now this is a spirit box app. Ask it a question.
Hey, are you just a bunch of mashed up sound bites of people talking? Oh my god. I heard it say yes.
None of these seem like legit.
I don't...
Ask it a question.
Are you legit? Okay, I'll ask another question. Why does Samantha think that iPhone apps that are ghost? Oh.
You really pissed it off. Ask me.
I was asking you before you interrupted. I don't know as if I believe in ghosts because I've never had a paranormal experience.
I've had a few, but not on my phone. So moral of the story is we're subjecting ourselves to a murder house, the face on the wall.
In the cistern?
Cistern, yeah. I've never heard that term before.
There's like a big tub of water and like...
I can insert the picture here.
Yes.
Colleen.
Yeah. And set change! We are now in Jamie's bedroom. Side note, look at this gosh dang heckin' art. The artist is beautiful and perfect, and I'm going to put her information below. I have a bunch of this art on my wall as well. And this is a shameless plug. Her name is Jenn, and...
Jenn LeBlanc.
I didn't know if you wanted her last name or not.
Oh yeah, we want the last name. She's an amazing friend and really good artist, and she's Worm in the Apple's Eye on Etsy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's her Etsy shop, and just look. Just look.
There's a chicken up there too, but you can't see it.
Baka.
Baka.
Anyway, there was a couple other things that we wanted to add that happened to us that we didn't get a chance to film, either because we forgot or they happened after. One of the things that I thought was interesting, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the Bordens or like anything spooky, just like synchronicities. We were one of two couples there, and the first night we had exact matching outfits to the other couple.
Yeah, so it can hold like 18 or 20 guests, and it was just us and them. And I had on a red...
Not this one.
A more red plaid shirt, and the guy had on a red plaid shirt, and then
I was wearing the army jacket.
yeah, and the girl in that couple had on a camouflage shirt, so we were...
I noticed like after we left to the first room, like the very beginning of the tour, and I was just like, what world are we in? I just thought that was interesting, like of all outfit choices, like they are like not the most like unique things, yeah, but
all the people in the world, in all of, like you said, outfit choices, and we happened to be matching outfits with the only two people there.
yeah. Like the other couple that was supposed to stay there were no call, no show, like the other reservation. So it's just like, just so happened, the only other people in the house we matched with perfectly. Another spooky thing that happened, you can believe me or you cannot. I don't care. I know what I felt and experienced. So we're big babies, and I can't remember if I got a shot of it, but I'll reinsert it now if I did. We had this dress in our room that, like, the collar was torn and, like, this part, I don't know what you call that, because it's not the sleeve. Like, the... Who do you think you are? Are you, like, a 12-year-old boy? Like, but this part of the sleeve was, like, jangling, and so since the windows are old, like breeze would come through, so you just look over and it'd be like, thank you for the sound effect. Because it was old and tattered and there was no reason for it to be looking at us, we slept with the lights on. Because imagine if you roll over and you wake up and you see just like this mannequin, headless mannequin with this tattered dress, you'd think it was like a headless woman.
Even
Ghost.
in the light or the daytime, like the figure of the mannequin was way more realistic than a mannequin should be. So
Yeah.
like even in the daytime in my peripherals, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, so like imagine trying to fall asleep with that in your room. And it was a pretty small room, like smaller than this. I couldn't fall asleep. She fell asleep almost immediately. And it got to around like 4 o'clock, and I was absolutely determined to get at least like an hour or two worth of shut-eye. So I was trying to like problem solve here, because they usually face the wall no matter where I am. And that wasn't working, so I was just like, maybe if I flip the other way and I have like Jamie in my sight along with this dress, it'll balance out. And I'll be able to fall asleep, because I'll be like, yeah, there's a headless woman there, but I have my girlfriend, so...
Chaotic evil dress. Chaotic good. Me.
Yes. So I flip over, and at the same time, I decide that I'm too toasty, and I put one leg outside of the blanket, which, like, I know is, like, rule number 1 to not do when you're facing, like, ghosts and demons, but
Didn't Jen say that?
Yeah, she was like, you don't do that! You
Jen
should
the artist.
know! Yeah, when I was telling her the story. And, it's true. It's really true. Like, you don't let your feet dangle off of the bed, you don't go unprotected without your blanket, it's just the truth. And I lost all sight of that. I had the bordens. And so when I landed my leg outside of the blanket...
When I landed my leg...
Stop. Let me live. It felt as if, like, right at the top of my leg, there was one finger that went like this, and then, like, the middle finger like this. So it was, like, the pointer, and then the spatial, whatever was, it felt like someone was going like that. And I tried to explain it away, where I was just like, did a hair move in a specific way, but, like, the way that it was, like, I don't think it could, like, stop and then start again in another location, or was it nerve twitching? I don't know. But, so, all in that moment, I had these answers in my head to try to figure out what just happened. And then I decided it was a ghost, and I, like, flipped on my back, because I was just like, don't touch my leg. Apparently, like, that was the only place that the ghost could touch me. And, like,
No!
Yeah, I was just like, I can't. I was laying, like, stiff on my back for I don't even know how long, and then I ended up texting you.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to tell you, but I didn't want to wake you up to freak you out.
Oh, you should have just woken me up. Yeah, so she was, like, passed out when I woke up, and I had a text. It's like, so they just touched my leg. But it was, like, an hour ago. So then I was laying awake, like, with the knowledge that something touched Samantha's leg, like, while I was passed out. And so I just laid there, I looked at the dress, and I was like...
Yeah.
For a good 2 or 3 hours, I'd say. I was awake for a long time.
My favorite thing is she wrote in the guest book, and it had, like, this raving review about, like, the tour guide and, like, the information and, like, the whole shebang, and then at the end she was just like, oh, and someone caressed my girlfriend that wasn't me. Andrew, you sly dog, you.
It was definitely Andrew. It could have been, like, Lizzie. There's rumors that she's a gay.
Her and Nancy.
Nancy.
Her name was Nancy.
Her and Nancy.
Or Abby, you never know.
That's true. That's for damn
Maybe
sure.
Maybe that's why she was such a bitch. She said, like,
it's all pent up.
Yeah, wasn't living her true life.
No.
I don't know, I'm not judging. But another weird thing that happened, and, like, the last one that I experienced anyway, after everything, like, so the next morning I was running around taking pictures, and it was with, like, this camera, not, like, my iPhone camera.
So we didn't want to go upstairs, like, at night because we're total babies.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in until morning, and we had pretty much free reign of the house. I think we mentioned that before.
Mm-hmm.
So we started upstairs in that room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The one that, like, the only one that I got, like, real bad vibes from.
Yeah.
And I think we mentioned before that it was, like, haunted by 2 kids, apparently, and they had this box of toys. There was, like, all types of different toys, like, new and old. And so I went to go take a picture of it, and usually, to put it simply, like, a camera will be like, ka-clink.
She was just walking around snapping. She was like,
yeah, like, nothing. And then I get to the toy box, and it was like, ka-clink. And I was just like,
so slow.
So then I tried again, and it did the same thing, and, like, I only got 2 shots there and then I gave up because I was just like, maybe it's just acting weird, I don't know. And then we get to
moseyed on downstairs to the parlor where Angie was murdered on the couch. And we went through the dining room, I think, and like a couple of other rooms. We were like,
yeah, it was perfectly fine. Like I can insert some here that were like
crystal clear.
Yeah, like the one from Bridget's room that was so good.
Pristine.
Thank you. And then we get to the couch and it just like did the same exact thing but even worse. Where like almost all of my pictures, like it was either overexposed, it was blurry, like no matter what I did, no matter what angles, no matter what settings I did. I have like 15 pictures of this couch. Like I don't even think it's the same couch. It's like like
same spot though.
Yeah,
the exact same thing, like the slow shutter. It's just
yeah, and I was just like, is my camera broken? But again, we went around after, like how we went to the graveyard in Maplecroft, like no problem. So I was just like, these ghosties, like I can't afford a new camera, like leave me alone. Because it was kind of like that a little bit with where Abby was murdered, like I couldn't get the picture right. It didn't hesitate really, but like I just couldn't get the picture quality what I wanted, like for the picture quality I got throughout the rest of the house with ease.
That could have been maybe lighting, maybe something.
Yeah, but like even still, like if you take like the pictures on iPhone, like it took a picture of you like laying on the ground, and like that was fine.
Yeah,
absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So like that's why I just like I kept messing with the settings to see if there was anything else that I was just like doing wrong.
I feel like that one has the potential to be explained away, but the other two, I have no explanation for it. And I'm not a non-believer in ghosts, and I'm not a believer. I've just never had like a paranormal experience happen to me. So like I don't know. I feel like I'm more skeptical in general, and I still found that weird.
And so like I mean I got okay pictures of the couch eventually, like 1 or 2. I didn't get any of the toy box because I was just like, oh, guess my camera's not working right now.
Because you'd look in your viewfinder and there'd be a child like,
oh my god, tell me what it is. I'm gonna edit it so that like you're just like in the Another thing, this timeline wise would have happened before
we filmed.
In
our outfits.
Yeah. We had just set everything up, like the camera and the light, and thank you. We were about to start filming, like I got the microphones ready.
Keep in mind that we were trying to be almost as quiet as mice, probably as quiet as a rat if we're being realistic, a little heavier. Because the people next door, I mean, they weren't like super close, it was like our room and then like an entryway with the stairs, and they were like in this room where Abby was murdered. So we were trying to be quiet because it was pretty late, like early hours in the morning.
If you don't know the alibi of Lizzie, she claimed to be eating pears in like the top floor of the barn in the backyard, so it would have been like 100 degrees up there in like full gown, like eating pears in the middle of August.
Who doesn't like a good 100-degree pear?
And I'll say.
Yeah, I'll say.
So because of that, they had like a little glass pear, like being cutesy on the desk.
They had them pretty much throughout the house, but I didn't notice, like, I think earlier we were looking through the room and like noticing some details, but later on when we went to bed after dinner, after the tour, we had a much better chance to look around at all of the little things. There was some pretty cool stuff in her room, and like a shadow case?
Yeah.
How would you say that?
I don't know, like it was like a enclosed bookcase cabinet thing, I don't know.
Curiosity cabinet.
Yeah. Jamie went to go reach for it to like point it out.
Oh, there's a pear. That's cute.
And when she did that, I like turned and it was like, so the desk is like here.
I got it.
Thank you. And then the door frame and then like doorknob and then the lock. So she turns over and she's like,
look, there's a pear, how cute. And as soon as I did that, it was like
in between the lock and the doorknob. And keep in mind, the other couple went to bed as soon as the tour finished at like 10:30, at least that we know of. So they'd been like silent for hours.
Yeah, they were definitely silent. They were not moving around because the house is old and you can hear like anytime a door is opened, it's like.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just...
I hope that came across as loud as it actually was, because it was a
Yeah, it was
really
just so sharp and like...
rap on the door.
Yeah. She just immediately, because she was already like right there pointing at the pair, like locks the door. Like we both like stared at each other, and then she just like...
It freaked me out a little bit. I maintain that it could have been the house shifting. It could have been like a bunch of things.
Like such a sharp,
It was
loud
a very,
knock.
yeah, it was a very distinct knock sound. I don't know. Decide for yourself. It's like, oh, pears, and Lizzie's like, damn right, that's a pear.
Oh, another thing that was kind of spooky and then was debunked was the human heart.
Oh yeah, we were on the tour, and it was like it was standard basement stuff. That's where the initial axe/hatchet was found, was like around the corner in a basement on a shelf in a toolbox. Everything else was dusty. The hatchet was there, with some dry blood on it and stuff. So they were showing us that, and then the girl that was also wearing camouflage was like,
what's in the jar?
She was actually really nice. So like
Yeah.
That's not what she sounded like.
No, she was just like, what's in the weird jar?
Yeah, that's a really good impression.
And because the guy was just like, do you guys really have no questions? And then that's when she was like...
Yeah, that's such a good impression of her. If you somehow watched this girl in camouflage, I don't think we got her name.
I did tell her about the channel though.
Yeah, we respect you, and this isn't disrespectful.
No, it was just like...
That's really what you look like.
What's in the weird jar?
So they looked at it for a really long time. It was the tour guide and his partner.
Yeah. That's a heart.
It was a lot more analysis. Much more analysis.
They're like, is it a horse heart? Is it like they were like flipping it around?
They're like, I do this tour all the time. Like, I really, really have no idea what this is. And it like looked kind of deteriorated. And it was like on a little area that had a sign that said Timmy's office, and Timmy's the cook. So they were like, why would he have this? Like, what is happening?
I was like, I'm not hungry for breakfast anymore.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a human heart that the tour guide made.
Years and years ago.
And he just completely forgot.
He's a special effects artist.
When he's not being a tour guide. Now back to your scheduled programming.
I want to say stay tuned really bad, but that doesn't make sense.
Stay tuned in the next half second.
Did she do it? Do you think she did it?
I don't want to say yes, because that would validate every time you've said axe murderer, but I think it's highly likely, and I don't blame her, honestly. Like,
Yeah, because they were dicks.
her parents were total dicks. Dad, if you're watching this, I would probably kill you too if you made me pay for my oil lamp. That's it.
You're an asshole.
Me? I'm sorry. Wouldn't it be my father that's the asshole?
I would never say that about Jim. I hope you got anything out of this. Even if it's Lizzie, you ended up being a nice person in the end.
Yes, that's one thing. The other thing is you get to see cool footage of the Lizzie Borden house.
I feel weird saying stay positive, my friends, in this environment. Stay positive,
You know
my
what?
friends.
No, think about it.
What?
The Lizzie Borden story is overall negative, but really the ending is positive.
True.
The little known ending is that she was a great philanthropist and did so much good stuff for other people and died old and happy with a potentially secret lesbian lover.
That's true.
Yeah.
So, with that, stay positive, my friends, and
Have a wonderful last day.
and stay spooky.
You want